And welcome everybody to my talk about free food alerts and how free food alert is solving the food waste and hunger problem on campus with Odoo. I'm really excited to be here with you today to talk to you about all the improvements we've made in the system since last year when I did a talk on the first iteration of free food alert on Odoo. First, I want to start by introducing myself. So my name is Nemo. I'm the founder and CEO of Free Food Alert, and I'm also the Director of Implementation for the European region for Sodexis, which is an Odoo partner since 2012. So first off, I want to talk a little bit about what food waste looks like on campus, and here's just a few examples of what food waste can look like on campus in the United States. So these are actually photos that I took myself while I was a student studying at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, Maryland. And so as you can see, this is the food waste at the end of a catered event on campus. So this is not the beginning, this is not the middle, this is literally the end of the event. This is the food that would have been wasted and just thrown out or composted if there wasn't a solution like Free Food Alert on campus. So let's talk a little bit more about what is the solution for that food waste that could be generated at those events on campus. Well, I think it's Free Food Alert, or at least part of the solution is Free Food Alert. And Free Food Alert helps to decentralize the solution to food waste and hunger on campus through email alerts and mobile smartphone push notifications. It also helps to empower university administrators with data insights regarding trends in food waste and insecurity on campus so that they can then use that information to actually prevent the food waste from ever being created in the first place. And Free Food Alert, as you might have guessed, since this is an Odoo conference, was proudly built on the Odoo Community Edition in V16, which allowed our team to have a rapid design development and deployment of the tool over the past year. And one of the things I'll be highlighting today is all the new features we came out with in the past year, and you'll be seeing some demonstrations today of some of those new features in action in one of our test databases. So yeah, let's actually see it in action with some before and after photos now. So here you can see some of the same photos we had from before on one of the previous slides, but now you're seeing on the left what the food waste would have been, and on the right what the food waste ended up being after we sent out a Free Food Alert. And so what I'll highlight here is it's not perfect. In most cases, you're not going to remediate all the food waste that would be generated from an event. But in the majority of our alerts that we did in our first prototype of the system and over the years, we're able to remediate at least 50% of the food waste, which is really exciting. And here you can see an example of it really also depends on the type of food that's being wasted or the type of food that's left over. In most cases, students on college campuses, at least in the US, are going to leave a lot of the extra raw vegetables and sauces and things like that, and then they'll take the things that are kind of easy to take with them on the go. Here's one of my favorite examples, which is an event where there were literal stacks of untouched pizzas left over at the end of the event. And once we send out the alert, and 15, 20 minutes later, there was nothing left. And the students literally came through and grabbed entire pizzas or ripped up pizza boxes and used them as plates to kind of carry the pizza away and take it back to the library to share with their friends, for example. In this case, there was just a little bit of salad left over, which, again, I think makes sense given the demographics we have on college campuses in the US. And then there's just one more example with some fruit. Again, in this case, it was the apples that were less popular that day. I don't know why. Great, so that's a little bit of kind of the overview of how Free Food Alert works and sort of what the impact looks like on campus. And if we were to zoom out and look at the impact more globally, I want to highlight that since our relaunch of the new version of Free Food Alert in April of 2023, we've expanded to 8 different universities. So we have 6 universities that have a full membership and are actually paid members in the Free Food Alert Alliance. We also have 2 free trial universities that are currently doing a pilot program to see the feasibility to roll out the full program. And these are just some of the universities that we're working with. We also are actively doing an expansion to Canada right now, actually. The soft launch is this week, as if it wasn't already a busy enough week. This week is also the soft launch of our expansion to Canada with the University of Ottawa. Across all those universities, we now have more than 4,000 subscribers. So those are the people that have signed up with their .edu or .ca if they're a University of Ottawa student. to receive email and or mobile smartphone push notifications. We have 200 hosts as well, so the hosts are the people who are subscribers, and then they opt in to actually host free food giveaways by doing an in-platform training. So we train them on the food safety aspects of doing a giveaway, we train them on how to actually use the tool and send out an alert from the platform, and then once they've completed that e-learning course, their application is sent to the university administrator, who then reviews the application and approves it so that they can become a fully approved and authorized host. So we have 200 of those as well on the platform, and we've sent out a little over 250 alerts in the past year and a half. And probably the statistic I'm most proud about is the 0 food safety incidents on any of those 250 alerts. By far, all of the feedback we've received from the hosts, the participants, the university administrators has been overwhelmingly positive. Unfortunately, the biggest challenge we find when it comes to rolling out Free Food Alert at a new university is that some people are adverse to change and they're adverse to risk, and they think that this type of program is risky. And the thing that we highlight for the university administrators or the dining services or catering services that kind of try to push back or kind of pump the brakes when we try to roll out this program is we keep telling them over and over again, Free Food Alert is a much better solution than any other food waste remediation program on campus that would involve gathering the food, repackaging the food, relabeling the food, storing it, transporting it off campus, and donating it to a third party off campus. Free Food Alert really permits you to have a point of source solution for the problem with your students collecting the food on campus, and that's why we think it's one of the safer and more controlled options in terms of food waste remediation. It also keeps the food within your community, which is a more controlled environment. So that's a little bit about our impact and our growth over the past year in terms of the universities we're working with. We also rolled out a ton of new features. So one of the advantages of being built on the Odoo Community Edition is that it's a completely open source tool, and there's tons of modules out there that we can use to improve our instance of Odoo, and we're also working with the Sidexis team to actually customize the platform and improve the platform. And so here are the list of features, some of the features that we rolled out over the past year. And notably, these features were actually voted upon and chosen by the full paid member universities. So one of the advantages you get from transitioning from your free trial to a full paid membership is that you then get the opportunity to be officially a part of the Free Food Alert Alliance. And once you're a part of the Free Food Alert Alliance, every semester we have a review and a feedback phase during the winter and the summer, and we collect feedback from all the university administrators, and then we eventually develop new features and roll out new features and training. So some of the features include, for example, the university-specific host e-learning course. So that host e-learning course I mentioned is what the user has to go through. It's a series of videos that ends with a quiz, and it's built on the e-learning app of Odoo, and it's required to go through that process in order to apply to become a host. And we've rolled out a new feature that allows every single university to create their own version of that e-learning course. So every university is now in control of what are the standards they put in place for food safety on their campus and who is allowed to become a host and not. So some universities allow everybody to become a host, even students, faculty and staff. Other universities want it to be only their dining or catering staff, and you can tailor the quiz and the e-learning videos to the rules that make sense for your university within our platform. We've also rolled out features that allow us to capture before and after photos, which help us quantify the amount of food waste that's remediated. So a huge part of the advantage of using Free Food Alert, instead of a less formal and less technologically high quality solution, is that you gather all the data and insights, including the before and after photos, so you can actually understand how much food waste you're remediating. We also have an automated host feedback survey. So this is a survey we send out to the host every time they finish hosting a free food giveaway. So that feedback survey is linked to the giveaway event in the back end of Free Food Alert, and it allows you to, again, quantify the amount of food waste remediated and track feedback from the host and figure out if there were any issues, for example. We've also rolled out the email marketing and the survey apps from the Odoo base apps, which allow the university administrators to send their own custom feedback surveys to all their subscribers, all their hosts at the end of every semester. And they include survey links to the Odoo surveys that allow them to collect that information and then quantify kind of the feedback and then that's the information they usually use to then provide feedback to us and our development team to improve the next iteration. We also have a check-in button that we added to track the attendance. So this is just using the registration concepts in the Odoo Events app. We allow people to now save alerts for the future. So this is the concept of like filling out, you'll see this in the demo, but when you fill out the form, it does take a couple moments to fill it out. So the idea is that as an event organizer, as a host, I'm really busy at the end of my event. I don't want to have to fill in all that information while I'm also trying to start coordinating the cleanup and starting to say goodbye to the attendees and things like that. And so the idea with the saving the alerts is I can fill out the information before the event, even days before the event, I can save it, and then on the day of, right at the end of my event, I can just update 1 or 2 fields and then send it and confirm the sending of the alert. We also allow exporting event data. I'll show you this today, but we can now export all the information about the free food giveaway, including the host feedback from the platform. There's a My Account Statistics page where we show the users how many alerts have been sent out for their university, and we try to kind of drive the use by giving that positive feedback. We also have an automated follow-up email for unverified users, and we've rolled out as well a bilingualism support for French and English. So again, building on the Odoo-based translation features, we've translated our entire website, all the email alerts, the mobile app alerts as well, for our rollout at the University of Ottawa in Canada. So yeah, let's actually do the demo now. So for the demo, we'll be featuring some of those new features, which includes sending out an alert with the before photos. We'll then view the giveaway details on the front end. We'll check into the event, and then we'll view the event details on the back end to see who checked in, who registered, which will be our user, obviously. Then we'll check the email alert we received, and we'll submit some feedback via the host survey before finally going ahead and exporting the event details. So let's see this. We'll start in this first tab. I'll just refresh to make sure we're still connected to the database. Perfect. So we're just here in a test database, and this is the page where we send out an alert. So the first thing we have to do is provide a summary for the giveaway. That'll be the name of the event. Then we'll select the campus. So here, I'm logged in as a user for Johns Hopkins University. So I have the campuses for that university. So we'll say we're at the School of Medicine, and we'll select the campus and then the building. So we do have we have multi-campus support in the system as well since last year. Then we have to select how long we'll be there for the giveaway. So we'll say maybe 15 minutes because that's the time at which, after our event, we have to actually leave and close the room or give the room over to the next person. We can also define what kind of food's available. And finally, this is one of our new features. We can upload the food images. So here I've prepared a couple images, which are real images actually from some of our users of the food that was available at the end of their events for which they sent out alerts. So we'll upload a couple photos, and then we can provide more information about special dietary restrictions, as well as allergens that might be present if we know that information. And finally, we can confirm everything's accurate and we agree to the terms and conditions to then send out the alert. So once we've done that, if we switch to the next tab, this is where we can see all the live events for our university. So there's nothing, because we have to refresh the page to see the alert for the new event we just posted. And you can see here, we're now taking the before photos. Before we used stock images of food, and now we're actually using the before photos uploaded by the user, and we can see the summary of the giveaway. And if there were multiple giveaways happening in parallel, we would see multiple cards for those different events. So we can click on this and now see all of the details for the giveaway, and again, see the images for the food actually available. And that information helps us understand, okay, am I close enough to this event? Is the giveaway lasting long enough? Am I motivated enough by the food that I see? Do I actually want to leave the library and try to run across campus and go to this event? And if the answer is yes, I can now actually check in, and the page will refresh automatically and count the number of people that have checked in. And so now we have registration information logged in the back end of Odoo on the event. And also as a front end user, like if I see this alert 5 minutes into it, and there's 8 sandwiches left, and already 15 people that RSVP'd and checked in, maybe that isn't a good event for me to try to attend because I know that I'm a bit too late for that one, and there probably won't be enough food left over. That being said, in terms of no food being left over, we also have the End Giveaway Now button, which we showed last year already, which allows us to send out a follow-up alert because in the best case scenario, we end the event early because all the food runs out. And in that case, we want to notify people that might already be on their way across campus that they should stop, go back to the library, because unfortunately, for this particular giveaway, there's no more food. And great, so now we'll just switch to the back end, and I'll show you what it looks in the back end. So now, again, I'll refresh the page so you can see the pizza at the Odoo Experience 2024 is here. We have a confirmed attendee, which you guessed it, is our user that checked in on the front end. And this is what the back end looks like. We have all the fields that we've customized for our events for free food giveaways. And again, down here, you can also see, again, the before images, and eventually, once we do the host feedback, you would see also the after images. So next, I'll switch here to our test mailbox. So since we're in a test system, we're receiving all of our emails in this test mailbox, and you can see this one here. So this is the one for the one we just sent out a moment ago. It's the School of Medicine campus, and we have to go to the Ross building, room 302 to participate. And again, if we were to click on this link, we would see again the event details. So that's what the alert looks like that the subscribers would receive in their mailboxes. And then finally, I want to show you the giveaway host feedback survey. So at the end of the event, at the end time, so in this case we put 15 minutes, so in about 13 or 12 minutes or so, the event's going to automatically unpublish, and the host that sent out the alert is going to receive a survey from Odoo that's going to ask them for feedback. So they'll receive that email with the survey link, they click on the link, and this is what it looks like. All the questions are optional, but one of the things it offers us to do is select after photos. So in this case, I'm going to select these two after photos that I prepared for the demo. Again, these are the real images of showing that all of the burritos or tortillas were gone, and then a lot of the side dishes were also gone. So in this case, in terms of the amount of food waste remediated or saved, I'll say about 75% based on those photos. We can say 10 people showed up. Were there any issues during the event? Not at all. And we could add comments optionally if we wanted to. So we'll go ahead and submit that. And then when we fill that out from the link we receive via email, it links that feedback directly to the event in the back end. And then what's amazing in this new version of Free Food Alert is if we come back here and we look now at the list view of a lot of our past events, you can see here I've added some filters for the events that have before photos, host feedback, after photos. If we select all of those events, we can now, through the print button, export all of that data and actually open an Excel file, a CSV file that's readable in Excel that gives us all the information about the event, like the event name, the start and end time, how long the event was, which university organized it, who actually sent out the alert as the host, the end time, the time zone obviously for the campus, the primary and secondary location, really all the event details, including the feedback from the hosts is all exported in this format so that you can then create graphs, do pivot tables, and there's even links to the before and after photos, so you can click on those links and open the photos and download them if you want to make a report for your university, for example. And all of that data is filtered for each administrator based on which university they're associated with. Great, so that was it for the demo. I know that was pretty fast, and that's only just a small piece of the new features we rolled out since last year, but if you have any questions about those new features or any other new features, we can talk more about it after the presentation. I also want to highlight some of our user testimonials, in this case from the giveaway hosts from Johns Hopkins University. Like I mentioned earlier, we've been running this program now, the relaunched version of Free Food Alert, on Odoo for over 1.5 years now, and we've had 0 food safety related incidents and only positive feedback from all of the hosts. And as you can see here, a lot of people really love our app and how easy it is to navigate, how easy it is to post an alert, and how big of an impact they can make with so little effort at the end of their events. In terms of our roadmap for the future, what we're working on actively right now is mobile app improvements. So right now, our mobile app only supports sending push notifications, but not actually sending alerts. So the majority of the hosts will actually send alerts from our mobile responsive website built on Odoo, but we're working on improving our mobile app and making the on-the-go experience even better from our users. And also, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to work on this winter, whatever the university administrators decide or vote as the highest priority for the next iteration of our tool, because it's really important for us to talk to our users and really get feedback and make sure that we're improving their lives and getting them more of the statistics and data that they need to justify the expansion of the program on their campuses. And as a final note, I want to say a big thank you to our sponsors. So first, a shout out to Leanna, who is our champion at Johns Hopkins University, who helped sponsor the new version of Free Food Alert that's built off of Odoo. And she's been pioneering Free Food Alert across 5 campuses at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, Maryland. And I also want to say a big thank you to Stefan Keller, who's the CEO of Sidexis, who has really invested a lot of his technical expertise and the time of his team and his developers to help us in customizing the Odoo Community Edition for Free Food Alert. And that being said, I also want to take a few moments to talk about Sidexis. So Sidexis is an Odoo partner since 2012. We're 100% specialized in only Odoo, so we really do Odoo day in, day out. Our company is headquartered in the United States, in Florida, next to Disney, actually. And we've had customers in Europe since 2019. I moved to Europe 5 years ago to help kind of establish our offices in Europe and to kind of lead the expansion of our European team. We have about 45 business analysts, developers, bookkeepers, and system administrators that can help you at any point you might be at within your Odoo implementation or your Odoo project. We have a portfolio of over 100 successful Odoo implementations over the past 12 years, and we're really well set up to help you with either a new Odoo implementation or improving an existing Odoo implementation. So if you have any ideas for Odoo projects, feel free to come talk to me after the talk. And with that, I now welcome you to scan the QR code if you haven't already from the title slide and submit any questions you might have. And there's also some important links and QR codes to learn more about Free Food Alert or Sidexis. I think it's here, yeah.
Hello, thank you for your talk. So we have some questions that are coming, and the first one is, do you plan to offer the service in Europe?
Sure. You tell me, is there a university administrator in the crowd that's interested in expanding the service to Europe? I mean, absolutely we could. As I already mentioned, we're bilingual at this point, so we have support for both English and French. And it's relatively easy, as you probably know, in Odoo to add new languages and new translations. So we could definitely look at expanding to a French-speaking, English-speaking region in Europe very quickly, and other languages as well we could add in the future if necessary. So you tell me, if you're out there in the crowd, let's talk after the Q&A.
If there is English, you can do it everywhere.
Yes, but then some places are really prefer to have it in their local language.
Yeah,
so we're
true.
more than happy to support that if necessary.
All right, thanks. How do you track the accuracy of the percentages of the food saved?
We don't, to be fully honest, right? So I mean, there's no way for us to know, at least on our side, from the Free Food Alert side, if the information being submitted by the host is accurate. I can't think of any reason off the top of my head why somebody wouldn't give accurate information. That being said, the only thing I can think of that could help us with checking the accuracy of that feedback is the before and after images. If they submit before and after images that are very close to identical and then they say 100% of the food's gone, that would definitely throw up some red flags. I will note that our plan in the long term is actually to use AI, of course, to review the images before and after to help quantify the amount of food waste that was remediated and therefore our positive environmental impact on the planet. But that's something that we're planning on doing much later in the future once we have a lot of before and after photos and we can run all of those through some sort of algorithm to get some sort of coherent data out of it.
Nice, nice. Then I see one more question. Have the people bring their plates or things to take the food?
Yes, absolutely. So that's another common question that usually slows us down in the beginning of our rollout at a new university is a lot of the university administrators tend to be fearful that they're going to have a lot of plates or cutlery stolen as a part of this program. And actually what we find is that students in particular learn very quickly that they need to carry their extra Tupperware and their cutlery with them, and they're very creative when it comes to finding solutions to having a mechanism for carrying the food away when they're hungry and they're on campus and they're presented with free food. So the example I gave earlier in the presentation of just ripping up a pizza box to carry away some of the pizza is the example I would point to again.
Mm-hmm. Then maybe the last one, what about the money, the cost? Is it totally free for the user? Because there might be some spent for you, so how do you handle that?
Sure. So definitely, I mean, again, thank you to Sidexis and Stefan, who's in the crowd with us today, for the investment that he's made in this tool, because there absolutely is a cost to developing this, hosting this, and improving the tool year over year. For now, we do collect memberships from the paid universities, so there is a free trial available for every university for 1 semester, simply by filling out our form on our membership page on our website, and it's actually linked right here on the slide for you. So you fill out that form, and someone from my team will get in touch with you to get you ramped up in your 1 semester free trial. After that, we do ask that universities transition to a paid version, and the paid version, the pricing is public on our membership page, and once you're part of the paid version, you again get access to all the tools for however long you've paid for your licenses. We have 1 or multi-year contracts available, and then you get the opportunity to have a seat at the table, so to speak, in terms of providing feedback and helping with deciding what are going to be the next iterations of the tool. For the user, the end user, it's 100% free all the time.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. We have also other people congratulating you for the project. It's an amazing project. So therefore, thank you for your talk and for your insights. And we have to wrap up because there is a next talk. Thank you again.
Sounds great, thank you.